President Trump is giving us commanders more leeway to authorize military airstrikes and special operational raids. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth implemented the changes earlier this month while meeting with senior U.S. military leaders in Germany. Hegseth confirmed to CBS News is reporting on Friday, sharing the story on X with the message correct. CBS News verification producer James Laporter broke this story and joins us now with more on this. So James, what was the process for authorizing raids and airstrikes before these changes, and what does this process look like now? Sure, so broadly speaking, airstrikes or drone strikes fall into two different categories. There's deliberate airstrikes and then there's self-defense airstrikes. And quickly speaking, deliberate airstrikes is you're strategically selecting targets inside a terrorist organization. You're developing intelligence, and that intelligence is going up several layers of the U.S. government. It's going from the combatant commander to the joint staff. It could run through the Secretary of Defense through what's called the Principals Committee, and finally you have sign-off by the President of the United States. That's the more deliberate approach, and that's really the approach that former President Biden had in place. It was kind of modeled after what former President Obama had put in place during his second term. Self-defense airstrikes, real quick, is basically a new threat stream has come in, and you don't have the U.S. government doesn't have the time to really go through those layers in days and weeks to develop that intelligence, and so they strike very quickly that those are self-defense. And self-defense airstrikes they try to limit those deliberate airstrikes is what they try to do, because there's multiple layers to it, right? What President Trump has done is he has rolled back those multiple layers of approval that President Biden had put into place. Now President Trump has the authorization to do that as commander-in-chief. He has the ability to delegate down to his combatant commander. So what he's done is he's given the combatant commanders the authority to target how they see fit and to strike how they see fit. Who are the potential targets, James? So from my reporting, when a Defense Secretary Hegseth met with leaders in Germany, he's meeting with leaders from us European Command. He was meeting with leaders from us Africa Command. Those are the combatant commands that I was referring to before. The two groups that I was told were brought up were the Houthis in Yemen, which they're backed by Iran. If you look at news reports over the past year, they've been causing, they've been targeting a lot of merchant ships and commercial ships navigating through the Mediterranean and the Red Sea. That was one of the groups that was brought up. The other group was Al-Shabaab. Al-Shabaab was a group formed back in the early 2000s. They've been trying to destabilize the Horn of Africa for some time. They have previously pledged their loyalty to Al-Qaeda. So those were the two groups that were brought up during the meeting. And what are Pentagon officials saying, James, about the implications or potential implications of this new policy, right? So any policy, right, there's usually risks and rewards. There was risk rewards under President Biden's model, and there's going to be risk and rewards for President Trump. So what defense officials have told me about President Trump's model is it does give commanders a lot more leeway to strike how they see fit. You can potentially demoralize and destabilize a terrorist organization quicker. The downfall is that because things are a little bit more sped up, it can introduce flawed decisions and introduce civilian casualties. All right, James Lure, thank you.